of the show. Whether you like them slow and shambling or fast and furious, we'll pick the best zombie film ever in the loop. Plus, we'll warm up our hands and make sure it's comfortable when we go in your pants. And we'll unmask the Intel Core 2 Duo processor on AOTS hardware. All this and more on a live and frightening attack of the show starting right now.
What's going on here? Pick up on this.
Costume masks. And
I know, everyone's dressed up.
Did we just have a new intro? I didn't even...
We did. Happy Halloween, trick or treat.
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I trick or treated that, and that's what I got, so I put it up.
Oh, well done, well done.
Thanks.
Welcome to Attack of the Show, everybody. TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. It's Tuesday, October 31st, and my name is Kevin Carrera.
And I am Olivia Munn, and we are coming to you live from the G4 Studios in LA. Happy Halloween,
happy
everyone.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween. We're not dressed up.
Yeah, people around here not excited because they come knocking on our door for candy, and all we have are soup and toothpaste. So.
You know what? On my desk, I just have like a bunch of... My desk does nothing. Like, there's no pictures, nothing. It's just filled with food.
You had a food storage bin. Like, you're going to get a little hot plate, you know.
I actually thought about getting a microwave and a hot plate and all that stuff. It just stores food, but I love it. So it's Halloween. Do you have any big plans tonight?
Getting plastered.
Really? For Halloween plastered?
Well, no, it's because it's Tuesday.
Oh,
more so than it's just Tuesday. I'm not going to dress up and go drinking. I'm just going to get.
I've known you for a while. I should have known that. Tuesday is getting drunk day for you. My apologies. I should have known better.
Helps you through the rest. What about you? Are you dressing up tonight?
No, I'm not. And I don't know. Like, since the trend now for girls is taking a regular costume and making it sexy or horrid.
Yes. In fact, listen up, girls. It's important to follow trends.
That is
Remember
true.
that. Always follow trends.
If I follow trends, I'd probably be getting dressed up too. But I'm actually just going to sit at home and be on the internet. I don't know, something very cool like that. But
exciting.
Yeah, clear your mind, Ferreira. Clear your mind. I know you're pretty turned on by that. We have got a big show today, so let's just get right to it.
All right. Forget haunted houses. We're about to visit the scariest place around. So check your stash for razor blades. It's time to go where?
Around the net.
She's right.
You know what I mean.
What?
Yeah, you know. Halloween is only second to April Fool's Day in terms of internet craziness. The net blows up with great stuff from around the world, and of course, we have to show you some very bizarre costumes. These pics are from cracked.com, and they were nice enough to show us some of Japan's strangest.
They really have one-upped us in the costume department. First up, look, we got a guy who really loves the good old US of A.
You know what? They one-up us in a very creepy way. It's not like, oh, they've done it better. It's just like, wow, and everything's skin tight or like very form-fitting.
That sounds better to me. I don't see what part of that is wrong. What about this giant banana costume? All right, from the way it's shaped, it's
wow.
It's a little on the phallic side, but
a little?
You'd peel
Did you really just say a little?
You'd peel that Chiquita, right?
No, I wouldn't. That looks gross.
Okay.
Well, actually, we've got a tanuki who's a staple of Japanese folklore, a raccoon dog that is mischievous, a shapeshifter, and oh yeah, packing some major cojones. See that?
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, if you think I'm kidding, watch the anime show Pom Poko, where a tanuki beats a cop down with his tater sack.
Literally. The old tot
satchel. He picks it up and just
slams somebody to death.
That's what it would look like if I had mine. I'd have to go like this.
You'd have to heave them?
I'd have to heave them.
Wow.
Impressed?
Impressive. Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, noted.
And finally, you guys have to see this, a giraffe that... Okay, it looks like genitals again. We should really just stop that.
Yeah, okay, done.
And it's spotted.
Well, sometimes they come that way, and then the cranes take
Kevin,
a little while.
Kevin, they don't come that way. You do stuff to make...
All right, true.
Yeah, you do stuff to put spots
I learned don't sit in the spa water that collects just outside the spa. Helpful hint for you, just so you know. Next up, we've got something that I personally think is awesome. People who put their pets in ridiculous costumes. I love it. I'm actually a fan of it. I'm the only guy in this office that likes it.
I don't know. I actually think that dressing up animals is bad news. I mean, it's just weird. And you know the pets don't like it.
Oh, the pets love it. And
they don't need, they have fur. It's like
you have skin, but you still wear clothes.
But that's different. I don't have fur.
Well, that's debate. Oh, you lasered it off, right?
I did laser. I lasered it all off.
All right. Well, these are the best of the best. So here they come. PetSmart recently sponsored a costume contest for your little loved ones. And today they unveiled their winners.
Oh my God.
Yeah, look at that.
You know what? I love looking at these because I like to think about the crazy people behind.
It makes you feel better about yourself?
Well, I like to judge them.
Maybe you're not so nutty?
I love it.
No, look, first we have 2 Jack Russell Terriers, okay? One is a lobster being boiled to death, but the second dog is ready to eat him. He's a little chef.
That's hilarious.
Now, their owner, Renee, says, quote, "I actually want to believe they like getting dressed up."
Wow.
So, at least she's being honest with herself.
She's like, I really want to believe they love it, and they love me.
You feed them, and therefore they love you. That's how dogs work.
That's why they don't run away. Next up, there is Rudy the Pug as the Dark Lord of the Sith. Arf Vader is his name. He's able to strangle cats with the Force and has been known to lay a phantom menace or 2 on the carpet. Rudy's owner, Monica, says, sometimes he smiles, but for this picture, Rudy has on a serious face. Hey, Monica, I suspect that this is Rudy's only face. Call me crazy.
I don't care how macho the frat guys are that are watching this show right now. They all went, "No, look at that little pug. Look at him.
I know.
Pass the ball. Okay, now pass it. But look at that little pug."
That's the thing is, I think it's creepy when people dress up their pets, but that is pretty
cute. It was
cute.
adorable. All right, finally.
You should dress up like that. I could pet you, and I would love you and feed you, and you would never leave. Would you never leave?
I will crap in your shoe.
I'll pick it up and clean it. You can crap in my shoe.
Finally, we've got Burrito. Burrito is dressed up as a vampire, and he's ready to devour a little chihuahua.
He's leaning over a coffin.
Yeah, well, hold on. His owner, Virginia, says, quote, "I rescued Burrito. His #1 trick is to show his fangs."
Wait, is that a trick? I mean, don't dogs
No, it's a rabid chihuahua that you picked up off the street, woman. Yeah, not cool. Be worried, because Burrito's going to get a thirst for blood, and then he's going to attack. It's going to happen, and probably say.
Probably say. That would be awesome. Send us a video when that happens. And now we must put a stake through the internet's heart. No, I just surf it.
Go to g4tv.com/AOTS for the links to everything you just saw. You got to break it off, by the way. That's the real way to do it. Street. Right now, though, it's time for the only news you need to know. I'm so urban.
You're not street.
Here's Layla Cayley in the feed headlines.
I'm so urban.
Thanks, Kevin. Here's what's coming up in the feed. First up, the Halo movie has officially been shelved. We'll tell you what happened. Plus, eBay is making it hard for people trying to sell their PS3 pre-orders. And the Xbox 360 gets a full makeover. It's all coming your way in the feed. But first, back to you guys.
Thank you, Layla. Now, amongst horror movies, zombie films are a special breed. They offer social commentary, end-of-the-world scenarios, and best of all, the undead rising from their graves to feast on the flesh of the living. Like Burrito.
Burrito.
With the wide array of zombie films out there, we see it sort of as our moral duty to really guide you through the cream of the crop this Halloween.
Yes, time now for our Halloween poll question. What is the best zombie movie of all time? Vote at our website, g4tv.com/AOTS, or text your vote to G4TXT. That's 44898 to vote and register for AOTS Live Horror News Alert.
Oh, there's spooky text, kids. For the past week or so, you've seen maniacs and madmen going to slasher school to learn the tricks of their trade.
Yeah, well, with this being Halloween, tonight is the night where all their hard schoolwork should pay off. So let's see how far along the troubled students have come in slasher school.
It's been a really rewarding week here at Slasher School.
All right, everybody, let's work on a maniacal laughter. Ready? Go. Good. Come on, you're a clown. Laugh like a clown. All right. That's enough. That's enough. It's all right. It's enough. Okay, so you're on the ground, and the victim, or hero, thinks you're dead. When do you sit back up? Oh, as soon as their back is turned. Correct. Now, what I don't want to see is this. Don't pop up. It needs to be a slow, controlled move. Really use the abdominals. And you scare them more. If you have a nice sheet on you, it falls down. Now I'm going to turn around. You guys do it to me. Ready? Go.
Has Slasher School made me a better monster? Absolutely. I really had no direction before. I was hanging out in alleyways. I was hunting down straight. What? I got something on my... Am I leaking? Well, what's going on?
Shall I miss my classmates?
Yea, verily I shall. Sinners in halls though they may be.
I'm sitting right here.
I know where you're sitting, Jezebel.
You know, people always ask me, what do I get out of this? What's in it for me? That? It's music to my ears. Kid's got it. He's a natural. What can I say? Good. Now, use even strokes. Moments like this to just make it all worthwhile. Now get him. See you next year.
Man, that makes me just wish I had a knife to cut someone. Watch out, people. I'm feeling it today. We'll be back. Kevin?
No. Which zombie film is worthy enough to eat the brains of its enemies? We'll pick the winner in today's Loop. And we'll tackle your most frightening relationship questions in Your Pants.
Welcome back to Attack of the Show. We are live and talking about the undead. Before the break, we asked you, what is the best zombie movie of all time? Well, according to the brain-eating monstrosities at the G4 Laboratory, 65% of you believe that Night of the Living Dead reigns supreme. 28 Days Later had 28%, and Dead Alive came in last with 7%. No love for Peter Jackson. Well, let's go on over to Kevin, who happens to love Halloween, right? Right, Kevin?
Love it. Now, over the years, we've learned that many important lessons, you can derive them from zombie films. Like, watch out when dead family members return to life. Don't wander down dark hallways alone. And always, always aim for the brain, right between the eyes if you can. Yes, zombie films, they hold a very special place in all of our hearts, but what is the best of all time? Let's get into it. Trick or treat, kids. It's a very special Halloween edition of The Loop. Joining us via satellite tonight on Hallows Eve from Los Angeles, horror journalist, film producer, and all-around scream queen, Heidi Martinuzzi is here. And from the set of G4's live Night of the Living Dead special that airs directly following tonight's show, filmmaker Mark Borchardt is here. Welcome to The Loop, everyone. Now, listen, zombie films been around for nearly 75 years. I mean, it started with White Zombie back in '32, really. It seems like they get more and more popular, but Mark, what's the appeal of zombie films? Why is this a genre that just continues to thrive?
Well, they're a reflection of the possibility of us, man. So that ought to scare the hell out of you, and you want to attempt to make the most out of your life. And Kevin, you're a good man and a great time.
But and I appreciate that. You're right on all those accounts. But can zombies really be that scary when you can essentially jog at a brisk pace away from them?
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course they're scary because I'm sorry for interrupting you too.
No, that's fine. That's fine. They're scary because they, even though they're going slow, they always seem to get people anyway. So that's part of why they're so scary. It's the fact that they're going so slow and you still can't get away from them.
Now, and there's always an exponential amount of them, so it's ever increasing, and they can be in anywhere. And it gets night, man, you might be in trouble.
All right, so we've got mass quantities of brain deads roaming around. It sounds like a red state. But now, is it just about the gore and the scaring? I mean, you can't really name a single zombie, can you? No real characters stand out, Heidi, is it?
Oh, yeah, what about Bob in Day of the Dead? There's a zombie that's got a name and a face and a personality and everything. I mean, he was a central character of the film. So I think that sometimes you do have a zombie that's...
Okay, touche, fair enough. Now, Mark, what does it take to make a good zombie film? Is there a checklist?
Well, absolutely, man. One thing as such as the Night of the Living Dead, you want a believable set of circumstances, that these are real people in real jeopardy, and that these zombies also must really be a scary force and not just some goofism being portrayed.
Heidi, what do you think? I mean, is it about realistic characters? Is it about buckets of blood?
I think anybody who wants to see a really good zombie film now is going to be looking for a certain amount of gore. I think if the gore sucks, if there's not a lot of gore, then you're not going to probably have that fun of a zombie movie. I think there's something really fun about masses of gore. I think that's why Dead Alive is such a good film, because you've got one of the most bloody films ever. I think you've got to have gore.
Now you're talking about fun, though, but we also have to intermix that with terror, which is not from gore, but rather from a very chilling set of circumstances.
True, but if you're going to have people walking around rotting, it's a lot better to have some of the blood and some of the gore going on with them to help the terror along. Otherwise, you may as well just make The Haunting, don't you think?
Heidi, I think we all absolutely agree.
All right, well, let's talk about the actual films now. Mark, what are some of your picks for perhaps the best zombie movies of all time, if you had to pick a favorite?
Yeah, it's quite simple. Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. That's it, period.
Heidi, do you agree?
I like those films, but my favorite has got to be the original Day of the Dead. I think it's a much better film than the first two in a lot of different ways.
Did anybody see The Stuff? Am I the only guy that rented The Stuff back in like 1985 on accident with the bubbling ooze from the ground that turns people into zombies? I mean, listen, some actually argue, I thought it was a great zombie film, but some would argue that films like Evil Dead and even Slither, they don't qualify as actual zombie movies, even though I thought they were filled with zombies. But Heidi, you have a particular criteria when it comes to zombies,
yeah,
right?
I think in order for somebody to be a zombie, they have to be dead, and they can't have a soul. You can't have a reanimated corpse that's possessed by a spirit or a demon. I think that doesn't really count. I think the fact they've got to definitely have, that soulless quality.
Mark,
and they can't just have a plague like in 28 Days Later. I think that's retarded.
Now, what do you think now, Mark? Because I thought 28 Days Later they were clearly zombies, but because it was bacterial, that doesn't count?
Well, no, of course not. That's ridiculous. I mean, the reason for the zombies coming into being are, as always, as yet unknown. It's purely speculative, whether it's a satellite from Venus or bacteria. It really doesn't matter. What we're concerned about is that these legions of the undead exist, and that's it, period.
Well, if modern video games have taught us anything, if you have a lawnmower or a baseball bat handy, we're all going to be just fine. So make sure you stop by your Ace Hardware on the way home before you guys trick-or-treat tonight. I want to thank Heidi and Mark for joining us at the digital water cooler and for keeping us all in the loop. And, of course, Mark, if you can, grab Mike. Maybe stick around for just a second so you can tell us more about tonight's special presentation of Night of the Living Dead. If you can manage that, put him in the little chair next to you. Now, but first, we have to go over to our resident brain chomper, Miss Olivia Munn.
Today, we're bringing you this week's biggest video game releases. It is time again for the list. First up, Need for Speed Carbon hits nearly every platform out there, including Xbox 360, Nintendo DS, and the PC. The game has a definite West Coast feel with locations inspired by cities like San Francisco and Seattle. You can also drift and mod your car in nearly infinite ways. Next, the hit first-person shooter Fear makes its way onto the Xbox 360 and is a must-have scary title just in time for Halloween. In addition to new single-player missions, there are team modes like Deathmatch and Capture the Flag that you can play with up to 16 people over Xbox Live. The little Don Johnson that lives inside your head will be happy to learn that Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories is now on the PSP. The game boasts all new missions, 10 different multiplayer modes, and even some Phil Collins. I love me some Phil Collins. Next, from the Dungeons & Dragons universe comes Neverwinter Nights 2 for the PC. Eye-popping graphics and in-depth gameplay promise hours of dragon slaying, multiplayer nerdery. Best of all, budding dungeon masters can impress and challenge their friends by creating their own campaigns. And saving the best for last, Final Fantasy XII comes to the PlayStation 2. It sports an all-new battle system, some serious immersive gameplay, and a story that fans of the series and even casual RPGers will dive right into. That's it for today. Visit g4tv.com/AOTS for links to all the games in today's list. Still ahead in the feed, we will tell you about the Halloween Xbox Live upgrades, and we'll have all the sex advice you'll need to land that naughty nurse tonight when I go In Your Pants on TV's only source for all the stuff you care about.
G4TV.com. It's a whole new way to stay plugged into your world. The feed keeps you on top of the news you care about most. Dive into the pile. G4's constantly updating collection of over 15,000 streaming videos. Search through thousands of X-Play game reviews and more. Go to G4TV.com. Always fresh, always new.
Welcome back to a live attack of the show, TV's only source For all the stuff you care about, is everything all right?
Well, just say, I like how you sit back like it's daddy's chair. You're like,
Listen, Papa Bear's home. He's comfy.
yeah, you're like, hello, everybody.
I'm
welcome.
nestling.
It's like, that's my chair. Get out.
Listen, today I'm your Pimp Master General.
Oh, that makes
All right,
sense.
and I got a special treat for the kids at home. Let me introduce you to my lady friend, Miss Olivia Munn.
Pimp Master General of what, actually?
The ladies.
Exactly. Yeah, get over yourself, Pereira. What I'm doing is for educational purposes. You understand that?
Okay, all right.
All right? Now, you guys at home, unzip those jeans of yours because I'm ready to reach around with sex advice. You know, you can just find it right there in your pants.
Button fly.
Unzip, unbutton is the same thing,
Well,
Kevin.
you got to
get
be
it.
specific now.
Really? You're that retarded?
No, not really. I figured it out.
Okay. Well, Kevin's going to sit here and give a lot of advice, but also we have sex columnist Anna David, who's written for magazines like Details and stuff, and she is back to help me answer your sex and relationship questions. And like I said, he's here with some quick-witted, snappy.
I'm going to give some good advice today.
I hope you do.
Good advice.
Okay, it's good to have goals.
Yeah.
Okay, it is good to have goals.
I never achieved them.
Not that you will achieve them. Well, let's just jump in with our first question from a guy who wants to know if he should be footing the bill.
I'm kind of broke. Are guys still expected to pay for the entire date?
That's a great question because, okay, when I go on a first date, I always, I don't just do the fake reach, I pay. I don't even do that because the half thing, but then, hopefully, honestly, if the guy's like, no, I got it, then I'm like, are you sure? Okay, I won't go the whole, no, I won't do the whole back and forth, but that whole awkward, let's half it. I hate halving it.
Okay, here's the thing. I think that 99% of girls will offer on the first date.
How many mean it?
100% will be horrified if you say yes.
Thank you.
I mean, it's a setup. It's a setup.
God,
it's all a big game.
But basically, girls don't want to be presumptuous and assume. You know, I think we always want to make sure. But I do think that, you're screwed if you say yes.
And this guy, he takes a girl on a date. He's definitely, I think he just take her somewhere that you can afford at least the first time. The second, I will pay. I don't mean every date. Just the first.
Absolutely.
First two are like really important. After that, it's kind of like she should be ponying up a little bit. And if she doesn't, you want to leave her because I'm not that kind of girl. You're not that kind of girl. Girls nowadays aren't like that. But Kevin, do you pay for every meal?
No, it's like one of those things where if it's an expensive dinner, she should at least knock a little bit off her hourly rate. But if she's not willing to do that, then...
Kevin, you said you're willing to
your goals.
Yes, no. Okay, well, all right.
We're up here.
Here's the real deal. I don't accept games when it comes to relationships. I refuse to play them, and it's the one thing that keeps me happy.
It's not a game.
It is a game with women because, like you said, they'll offer to pay, but they'll be mortified if you do. Then don't offer if you're going to be mortified.
You say yes when they offer.
If I'm out with a girl, I hope that she will reach for the wallet.
But
I won't expect her to.
But okay, if she does, will you make her pay?
If she does, I will allow her to pay half. But 9 out of 10 times, I won't. Like if I'm having a good time, I will cover. I will foot the whole
That's the
bill.
game too, because you want her to reach for it. But then if you want it 9 out of 10 times,
I want her to reach and want to actually pay for half. I don't want her to reach.
We really want to pay.
You just said.
No, we do, but it says a lot about the guy when he says yes.
It's the same thing, Kevin.
It is the exact same thing.
It's not at all. I want her to want to pay, and if she wants to pay, I'll let her pay half.
Let me explain. This is it. A girl, we reach for it because we will pay. But we don't want the guy to make us pay. We want him to step up, at least for the first or second date. You want the same thing. You want her to reach and actually pay, but you're not going to let her pay. It's the same thing.
I would let her pay.
You know what? Think about it. Think about it. We're going to go on to the next question. This is a guy who wants to know what is so damn funny.
Hey guys, my question is, one night I hooked up with a good friend of mine, and when I'd look up at her face, she'd start smiling. She'd almost start giggling a little bit, and it was kind of weirded me out, and I haven't talked to her since. Should I be so concerned?
I have no idea. Anna, you have to go. I have nothing to say.
Okay, well, it's like, I don't have very many details, but I do think that if she was smiling and laughing, it's awkward to hook up with a good friend.
Yeah,
but
you haven't talked to her since.
I know. I mean, look, I once made out with a friend, and then I was like, oh my God, this is like kissing my brother, and he's never let me live it down. It's been 20 years.
Are you still friends?
Yeah. But I think that maybe, did it make you insecure that maybe she kind of like doesn't take you seriously as a sexual being? I mean, it could be some of that. But I do think that like you should talk to her and talk about what happened.
It's tough to overcome women laughing at you during sex.
Has that ever happened to you? No, honestly. No, honestly.
She was giggling.
No.
Can you imagine you kiss her?
Because I choke them out so they have absolutely nowhere to actually giggle. I mean, it's just an advanced tactic, but if you can get it, go below.
Kevin, we're not advising that. Anyone, please ignore just TiVo and just fast forward through that part. Now, you guys can get all of Anna's extended answers to the questions you just heard on our website at g4tv.com/AOTS. The choking thing won't be in the answers. And to find out more about Anna, visit her website at annadavid.com. Now, you guys, don't get up. There's lots more Attack of the Show ahead, including a special Halloween edition of DV Tuesday. Stay with us. You can choke me now.
Just restrict.
You
restrict.
We'll give you your recommended daily allowance of news in the feed. And we'll find the best Hollywood horror DVDs in DV Tuesday.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. We are live, and we just finished putting the razor blades in the Snickers. You're welcome. Olivia, trick or treat? You tell me.
Well, I have a better thing. How about I give you a treat, Kevin? Because following our show tonight, G4 will present an amazing and unpredictable Night of the Living Dead special featuring not only George Romero's classic film, but a live recreation of the zombie classic by Mark Borchardt and Mike Schenk from the cult classic American Movie. Joining us live from the Wisconsin set, where they are about to get things underway, are Mark and Mike. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, hi, how you doing? Hey, thank you very much, man.
No, thanks. Hey, are you guys in your front yard? What is that exactly?
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like a ranch house to me, right, Mike?
Yeah, we're in our front yard in Menominee Falls right now. We got Chris Borchardt and Kenny Keene cooking brats on the grill, and my wife is putting on her Halloween costume, and we got 100 zombies showing up, and
wow,
we're having a really good time.
It sounds like a great time.
Mike is a freight train of explosive verbiage, and we appreciate him for getting that information out.
It was a lot of information.
You,
Mike, I know that was really hard for you to say all that, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, what do you have in store for us tonight? Because I hear it's something really cool.
Well, Mike, let me say this at least. It's going to be quite action-orientated. Lots of activities, hosting Night of the Living Dead along with it, and culminating with the first ever live horror film, which Mike has so graciously allowed himself to star in, along with myself and Kelly Kearns and Robert Richard George from Coven.
Now
correct, Mike?
Yeah, that's right, Mark.
That is right, Mark. Now, this is really exciting because it is indeed the very first ever live horror movie. Why did you guys pick Night of the Living Dead? Did you guys consider any other films?
Well, Night of the Living Dead is the modern American horror film. It's a seminal piece. It brought zombiehood into the modern psyche.
Now,
that's taking a few seconds to digest, Olivia, and I appreciate your thinking on that.
Thank you, because it was a very important question, because there's a lot of horror movies out there. But I heard that if anyone is in the area, they can actually come down to the set and see you guys pull this thing off live. Is that true?
Exactly. But it is very true, and I just want to advise that you wear thick socks and gloves and so forth, because we're getting down to, I think we might be getting close to freezing, 32 degrees. So you know, if someone's been around for 20, 30, 40 years and spent tens of thousands of dollars on God knows what, at least put aside $20, man, to keep yourself warm.
Now, I hear that you guys are about to start everything in just a little bit, like half an hour. What's the mood down there right now? Is everyone pretty excited?
Yeah, I mean, you have a great crew, people mingling all over, energy. I advise people to drink hot coffee and have a great time, man.
Well, it's so great that you're really taking care of everybody and making sure everyone stays warm with warm socks and coffee. And I'm really excited. I'm going to be sticking after the show and watching it right here in the studio. So thanks so much and good luck tonight. Catch everything.
Olivia, you... I'm just telling you the exact same thing. Thank you, Mike. I'm sure you want to thank you.
Thank you, and have a great night.
Well, Mike, I'm so excited that you're excited. I see that look all over you. You look really excited. That's it right there, people. Catch everything we just talked about when Night of the Living Dead, live from Wisconsin, kicks off immediately following Attack of the Show. And if you guys are in the Milwaukee area and want to see what they're up to live and in person and maybe have a chance to get on the movie, go visit g4tv.com/NOTLD for directions on how to get there. Now let's go on over to a man who haunts the dreams of many ladies, Kevin Pereira.
Hey, thanks, Mom. Those guys are awesome. I cannot wait to see this. All right, up next, we're going to dish out the news in the feed and tech experts.
What's going on here?
Well, Welcome back to Attack of the Show, TV's only source for all the stuff you care about. We are live and always happy to celebrate a pagan holiday with you guys. And I really can't wait till we celebrate Valentine's Day. Right, Cass?
Kind of sounds like a woman who's been scorned to me, just being honest. Now, horror, zombie, and slasher films thrive this time every year. And if you're looking for a good movie to really scare your friends with tonight, film expert Chris Gore has the blood-curdling answer in DV Tuesday.
I thought, where's your costume? Where is your costume? This is...
Did you? I shouldn't have sent you an email saying, no, Chris, dress up. It's going to be great. We're all rocking it. What is this, by the way, before it falls apart?
I am Batman and Green Hornet's illegitimate son. You can tell from the belt buckle. See, right there. Yeah, but I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work.
All right, let's get A for effort, though. A for effort, yeah. D for execution. Let's move on. American Scary, the first DVD up tonight. What is American Scary,
Well,
Chris?
this isn't a DVD, actually. American Scary is actually part of a film festival that's a touring film, a lot of horror touring film festivals, including Horror Fest, Scream Fest. This is the time of year where you get to see a lot of these horror movie film festivals featuring indie horror movies.
Okay.
American Scary is one of them. It's a documentary about horror hosts like Zachary and the Ghoul from Detroit.
Oh, so just like community access type shows?
Like community access shows, and what, how did Elvira, come about? And it's a serious documentary about this topic, and other people that are in there, like Leonard Maltin, Quentin Tarantino.
Now, when you say serious, they treat the subject matter sincerely, but is it fun, though? Or
it's a lot of fun.
Okay,
it's a really good documentary about horror hosts. So,
and so if they want to catch it,
dear to my heart. And you got to catch
being DV Tuesday, they have to see go to film fest?
Well, this will eventually be out on DVD, but I wanted to give kind of a preview because it's touring film festivals across the country.
All right, so keep an eye out for American Scary. Now, what about Dark Ride? Because Will has this it's a volume of DVDs that he keeps in his cubicle drawer. Is it the same?
And it's not the same
series?
Dark Ride that you're thinking of,
okay.
but Dark Ride is a horror film done in the classic style of the 1970s. In fact, I don't want to give too much away, but I'll say that they kill kids at the beginning of this film, which is just really incredibly gross, scary, dark. It's sort of an ode to an old 1970s. It's about a carnival ride gone awry. Everyone that rides this ride gets killed, and there's all these bizarre murders happening. Really incredibly gory stuff. Yeah, and lots of nudity, which for me is like a great, bringing that back.
Yeah, let's bring that back. Why did they take that out of the genre?
I think nudity in horror films is key, and Dark Ride really fits. Now, this movie is actually coming out theatrically later in the year, but it's part of the 8 Films to Die For festival, which is in November. You can go to horrorfestonline.com, and it's a weekend where they're playing a whole bunch of horror films that are actually too scary, gross, bizarre to actually be released theatrically in a normal way. So horrorfestonline.com.
I'm glad they got a venue. All right, now next we have It Came From Beyond the Mountain. I was ready to yell at the It Came From eBay, but...
This is a short film that's also been touring the festival circuit. And it's kind of an ode to those 1950s, like, monster movies, with, like, giant robots or giant creeping spider.
Sure.
It's done cheaply and badly on purpose. So a lot of the acting in this, it's sort of an ode to that 50s style of overacting.
Keep it campy
overacting and over-gesturing.
Right.
So it's
like
a lot
Zach
of fun.
is an homage to that style of acting.
Yeah, it's his style. But this 10-minute short playing the festival circuit, another one great to check out.
Time for a short of our own. It's a little something we like to call rapid fire. Grab your box of tricks. Although I don't want to say that with the hat you were wearing just a little while ago.
True.
All right, let's get into it. We have 45 seconds on the clock. There it is, Dr. Gore. Let's see it go.
Cool. Here we've got the original Dawn of the Dead box set. That's one that you'll definitely want to check out. And if you're a big Dead fan, Zombie, which is the Dario Argento cut of the film. It's an extra 20 minutes long.
Nice.
Stephen King, great box set of stuff, including one of my favorites, Dead Zone.
30 seconds,
Walken.
30 seconds.
You've also got the original Phantasm. The original is the best one, not part 2 and 3. Phantasm, fantastic feature. 28 Days Later,
Love it.
They were talking about it earlier. I disagree with Heidi Martinuzzi. This is one of the great zombie movies.
15
seconds. Of the genre.
15 seconds. Get through that box, Chris. Come on.
And you've got Psychomania, which is an awesome feature film.
A bunch of DVDs.
It's about a bunch of Hell's Angels guys who kill themselves and come back as the undead. Return of the Living Dead, which has full frontal.
You're out of time. You could have got through. No, time's up. Time's up. Time's up. Thank you, Chris. Everybody visit filmthreat.com or chrisgore.com for more movie info. You're done. Put the hat back on. All right, let's go over to the woman that will probably smash my pumpkins tonight. Miss
Yep.
Olivia Munn.
Stick around, there's more Attack of the Show to go. We are the cool place to stop on Halloween, not like those jerks who give you one tiny piece of candy.
If you're not watching Attack of the Show, this is what you're missing. For more info, go to g4tv.com/AOTS.
Parallax